Hello and welcome to another episode of Humans in 5.
The human body is incredibly fascinating. The more we learn about it, the more the way that it changes, grows, and functions amazes us. Both of us have had the great fortune to learn about the human body in lots of different guises.
One of the ways that we learned about human anatomy was from people who had given a very meaningful gift, their bodies. In our university and anatomy courses, we learned about organs, tissue, joints, and cells from people who had donated their bodies to university medical school programs. Learning from a human body is importantly different than learning from a textbook, and it's really critical to having a comprehensive understanding of human health.
Learning from donated bodies happens in universities and medical schools around the world. You can click on the card above to check out our previous episode where we talked about the origins of medical schools and anatomical learning for a refresher. But as you might have guessed, sadly there are a lot of spaces where human bodies are being dissected in the name of learning, but without any dignity or respect.
In October this year, in a Seattle Marriott hotel ballroom, the body of David Saunders was dissected to paying members of the public as a class on human anatomy. The event was held by an organization called Death Science and partnered with an annual event called Oddities and Curiosities Expo. Members of the public paid up to $500 to attend, and the dissection was reported to have been performed by a retired anatomy professor from the University of Montana.
David Saunders passed away from COVID-19 at 98 years old this year, and prior to his death, had decided to donate his body to medical science. His body was donated to MedEd Labs, a company based in Las Vegas which provides human cadavers to the military, government, commercial, and non-profit organizations. When Elsie Saunders, David's wife, heard about the dissection of David's body in Seattle, she was deeply hurt, calling the event morbid and commercially instead of educationally driven.
We don't know if David expressed any specific wishes about where he wanted his body to go, but it's safe to say that being put on display and dissected in a hotel conference room, with part of the experience being shakily filmed and reported on a local news channel because a journalist attended, does not give David the dignity nor the respect he is due after having made a profound gift.
David's story mirrors the experience of thousands of people who have had no choice in how their bodies were treated after they died, including putting human bodies on display for people to pay to see them. William Burke, who in life murdered 16 people to sell their bodies to anatomy lecturer Dr. Robert Knox in Edinburgh in 1828, was publicly dissected and had his skeleton put on display as part of his criminal sentence. His skeleton is still on display in the Anatomical Museum at the University of Edinburgh.
Body donation in the USA happens via the Uniform Anatomical Gift Act, a regulatory framework which was first passed in 1968 and revised in 2006. This act provides information on the types of institutions where bodies can be donated and how donors can specify how their gifts will be used. The 2006 revision provides legal support for people whose gifts were not originally covered by the act, such as the people who were included in the traveling anatomical exhibition Body Worlds, which included the bodies of people from all around the world.
Now, we can ask whether legal frameworks like the Uniform Anatomical Gift Act should be reviewed when it comes to private organizations. Death science isn't associated with any university or research institute, so should they be in a position to, quite literally, buy human bodies for public events? There are also people who decide not to give their bodies to medical schools because they don't feel that their bodies would be respected by medical students. So it may not just be a question of universities being more reputable than private organizations.
Deciding to donate your body or having someone else make that decision for you does not sign away your right to being treated with respect and sensitivity. Our bodies are not empty shells when we die. We should not be treated as oddities or curios in life or in death. There are ongoing discussions in universities and museums about how we treat human bodies and the ethics of displaying them, and David Saunders' story should prompt us to think more about what we want to do with our bodies when we die, and about what legal, personal, and social factors influence those choices.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Humans in 5.
And don't forget to subscribe!